Right. 3.2 human evolution. To be more specific, it's all about the mechanism of reproductive isolation, which is the mechanisms that prevent two species from crossbreeding to produce a fertile or a viable offspring. So now they're saying a samango and vervet are two species of monkeys that occupy the same habitat. Okay, the researchers have recently discovered that a population of samango monkeys were able to interbreed with vervet monkeys to produce offspring. Right, right. And then these offspring were infertile. Why? Because the species are different. Okay, the species are different. Immediately when they're saying the offspring was or were infertile, then it means that the species are two different species. They are different from each other. All right, and then define the term population. So sometimes they ask us to define biological species under this section, mechanism of reproductive isolation, or they can ask us to define the term population. That is always for 3 marks. So you do not want to lose those marks. So now let's define the term population. So 3.2.1. Population is a group of organisms, right? A group of organisms, all right? Organisms of the same species. So these organisms, they belong to the same species. Group of organisms of the same species, right? Same species that live or that occupy, that live at the same place, you just write at the same place there, at the same time. Please always include that. At the same place, that live at the same place at the same time. That is for 3 marks. A group of organisms of the same species that live in the same place or that occupy the same habitat at the same time. All right, that is for 3 marks. Then 3.2.2, it says give one reason why samango and vervet monkeys are considered to be two different species. The reason why they are different from each other is because of they produce offspring that is infertile. So that is your answer. Because they produce offspring that is infertile, or they produce infertile offspring. All right, that's very simple. And then 3.2.3 is going to ask us to list 3 mechanisms of reproductive isolation that are not mentioned above. So the one that is mentioned here is infertile offspring. So we need to mention the other mechanisms of reproductive isolation that are not mentioned in the extract. So the ones that are not mentioned, we have breeding at different times of the year. Okay? Breeding at different times of the year. Right? Breeding at different times of the year. Right? And then the other one is species specific courtship behavior. Species specific courtship behavior. Right? But they only wanted 3, right? And the other one is adaptation of different pollinators. Adaptation of different pollinators. You can also include the prevent of fertilization, right? Yes, prevention of fertilization. But breeding at different times of the year, it's breeding at different times of the year, yes. And then we have species specific courtship behavior, and we also have adaptation of different pollinators. And then we also have the prevention or the prevent of fertilization. Those are the mechanisms of reproductive isolations that are not included in the extract.